making that run through the tunnel for the very first time this season. Who says soccer isn't a contact sport? Bloody nose and all. Everyone always has a great time playing for Coach Storick. Breaking ankles and taking names. The Eagle has definitely landed. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. And the Eagle definitely has landed. That bird followed us a couple of games.
He's a soccer fan.
Yeah, at the Chicago Lake game, he sat there the whole time, and then he came back the next time we were doing a game and got your autograph and left.
Yeah, well, it's been a wild start already to the season. We've had some postponements for a number of different sports for a couple of different weather reasons. The weirdest definitely was, and probably rightfully so, football season was supposed to start on Thursday night last week. They postponed because there was severe weather coming in.
We've had a lot of severe weather here in the last couple of weeks in Minnesota, obviously. And so, yeah, they decided just for safety purposes and delaying games, they would move it to the next morning. And it was definitely an interesting game.
It was. And, you know, starting our 28th season, we've seen a lot, but a season opener at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning was definitely a first. It was also the first time we've seen the Cardinals open their schedule hosting the defending state champions. Centennial lost a lot of players from that team, but the Cougars proved they're still pretty ferocious. They make a statement on the opening kick return. Marshawn Carlvin from inside the five finds a seam on the right side, and he's gone. 72-yard return stopped at the Cardinals' 25-yard line. And they are going to score 5 plays later. Caleb Melzer in easily from the 2. Cougars on the board less than 3 minutes into the game. Cardinals excited about their running game this year. Danny Scheller gets the first carry of the season, gets to the outside for a solid 90-yard gain. And the Cards drive into Cougar territory, but on 3rd and 7 from the 39, Jeremy Oddie keeps it on the option, tries to cut back against the grain. He's hit, ball pops loose. Centennial gets the takeaway. After 12 straight run plays, to start the game, the Cougars go to play action, and it works perfectly. Isaac Belinsky-Strauss's first pass of the season is a 10-yard score to Kellen Binder on the right side. Cougars up 14-0. Cardinals offense just couldn't find any rhythm. This 17-yard pass from Adi to Harold Berry late in the first quarter was their 3rd and final first down of the first half. Cougars, meanwhile, scored just about every possession. Belinsky-Strauss airing it out down the right side. Max Johnson goes up, gets it. Defender falls. Johnson cruises into the end zone for a 60-yard score. Longest play of the day for either team. Cardinals forced to punt deep in their own end. Snap is a little high. That's enough time for Evan Just to make a spectacular block. Aiden Evans recovers in the end zone. That made it 28-0. Cougars added one more before pulling their first string late in the second quarter. They cruise to a 42-0 win.
So it was my every intention to stop by practice today and talk to Coach Russ, and I just did not get a chance. You know, those day jobs get in the way,
right,
unfortunately. But it was a tough one for them. There's no doubt about it. They could not get their offense going. And I think they've got a lot to work on. They've got an opportunity this week against a team that lost to Maple Grove 55-7 in Osseo to see if they can get back on track, especially their offense. I mean, what was it, just 3 first downs? In
the first half, yeah.
So it's something that they definitely have to work on. When you have a running back like Danny Scheller, he's a great athlete, but if you can key on him in the defense and take him away, it makes it difficult.
Which they clearly did.
It makes it difficult for the Cardinals to move the ball.
Yeah, Centennial's a tough way to start. Yes, they lost 17 seniors, including most of their skill positions on offense, many of their starters on defense.
Yep.
But they play a relatively simple system,
they do,
and they have athletes to fill those holes. Next guy up mentality, and it clearly works for Coach Diggins and his team. They're going to be tough to beat, I think, all season long. Cardinals are, I think, going to have a little bit easier time against Osseo next week, and hopefully they can get a win, get a little momentum. They'll be back home to take on St. Michael Albertville the week after that. Tennis team, we talked about a very ambitious schedule to start the season. Unfortunately, they did lose some matches in here as well in the last couple of weeks due to that weather. Had some rain come through. The heat was something that kept some teams off the field. But on the 21st, way back, I think that was a Wednesday right after we did our preview show, they had a tri-meet with Maple Grove, their first conference match of the season, losing to the Crimson 7-0. Crimson are top 5, top 10 team in the state, though. Apple Valley, not quite that same caliber, and the Cardinals got to bounce back and get a win against the Eagles by a 5-2 score, get their record to 3-4. And then on Thursday that week, they went up to Big Lake. This was supposed to be a quad meet. They were supposed to have 2 other matches, but only got the one in due to the weather. They did get a win over the hosts from Big Lake, a 6-1 win, all 4 of their singles winning in straight sets. That got them to 4-4 on the year.
Well, after the expected time off, the Cardinals returned to the court on Thursday for one last match before the holiday weekend. The Cards were 4-4 and hoping to have a winning record as they start the school year. They traveled to face off against conference rival Park Center in their first dual meet of the season. Gabby Newton is off to a great start in her 4th season at First Singles. She was 6-2 coming in. She controls her Pirate opponent start to finish. Solid volley here. Gabby's cross-court winner, part of a 6-1, 6-3 victory. As you're going to see that. And unfortunately for her opponent, she could not get the return. Melanie Lee gaining some momentum with her 3rd straight win at Second Singles, and it comes in straight sets at Park Center. 6-1, 6-2 was the final there. Sophomore captain Kaylin Easton boasting a 7-1 record on the year, playing 3rd and 4th singles. She's at the 3 spot against the Pirates, and she fights hard but loses in a tiebreaker 6-1, 4-6, 9-11. Taya Miller playing 4th singles, just her 2nd singles match of the season. She also loses a tough one in a tiebreak, 6-1, 2-6, 5-7. Macy Ruddy and Abby Semensky with a slow start in the top double spot, but they were coming in off back-to-back wins, and they kept their streak alive. Really well played volley here, but Ruddy and Semensky will persevere on their way to a 6-1, 6-4 win. We have a similar story for Morgan Severson and Coral Weber at second doubles, coming together nicely and riding some momentum. Strong play at the net for this point. So you're going to see here in their 3rd straight win, 6-1, 6-0. 8th grader Bella Fowler is a first-year tennis team player. She teams up with Talitha Coon to get her first victory. And at the varsity level, Fowler and Coon complete the sweep at doubles, 6-4, 6-2. Cardinals are going to win overall 5-2, and they're going to improve their record to 5-4 overall.
Yeah, first time they've been able to sweep in the doubles. Yep. They're going to be a singles heavy or strength team, to be certain. They're over at Andover today. They're at Irondale tomorrow and hosting Blaine on Thursday. They did have, between that Big Lake match and Park Center, they had a couple of days off they had not expected because of, again, those weather delays and postponements. And they were hoping that the start of the school year did not also include 3 straight matches on the first 3 days of school. That's not the way the schedule was originally intended, but due to the postponements, that's the way it worked out. And the girls, being right at around 500, I think if you would talk to Coach Storick at the very beginning and said, you're going to be right at around 500, one game over 500 when school starts, he said, we'll take that.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be happy with that, obviously.
Volleyball team also got a very fast start. They played in a tournament up in Rush City on, was this Friday the 23rd, I believe? And it did not go so hot. They lost to the hosts 25-14 and 25-12, then lost to Cambridge Isani 9-15. They did get a win, a set win over Hill Murray, winning the first set 25-22, but then lost 18-12. And they finished against, I think it's the real Rock Ridge, but it could be the fake Rock Ridge. But we'll know if it's the real Rock Ridge that beat them 25-18 and 23.
How will we know?
We will know. We will know that it's the real Rock Ridge, even if it's not the fake Rock Ridge. Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Their first dual meet of the season was beginning of last week. They went to St. Francis again, able to get a win, keep some closer scores. They win in the second set to the Saints, but end up losing 25-12, 27-25, 12-25, and 16-25. And then on, Thursday last week, they played St. Louis Park, and they lost in straight sets, 14, 8, and 12. They are now 0-6 on the early season.
Tough start, quite obviously.
It is some closer sets, but we talked about it in the preview. Again, a very young team. The new staff came in last year, started things, but had a great senior group.
Right.
That really was their starting six. And now we will see how they're able to fill those positions coming through.
It will definitely be interesting, but you take each obviously match at a time, and you try and work on your skills and what you need to do to get a win, and it'll come. It's just a little bit slow to start the season.
Well, they host Anoka on Wednesday, and Howie
will be there.
And then they are at Hastings on Monday next week, so they'll get a little bit of a break. But interested to see them in person coming up on Wednesday. We'll have that live at 7 o'clock. Swim team got its dual meet schedule started last week with a trip to Elk River. They lost to the Elks 95.5 to 75.5. And Elk River really a very excellent team. They swept the podium in nearly every event. Cardinals did have their glimpses. Lewis won the 500 free. That's been a strong point for Coon Rapids swimming in both boys and girls the last several years. Smith Jeanette, a nice finish off the board, finishing in second place with a score of 170.45. Emily Lovin was third place in the butterfly, and the 200 medley relay was in third place. But couple of, like we talked about with the football team, similar to what the swim team started with, a very strong team, an Elk River team that'll be towards the top in the conference. Yeah. Their next two, this week hosting Park Center and next week at Osseo, two teams that are more fighting to, like the Cardinals, trying to stay out of that tournament tri-meet for the final three spots.
Yeah, they have a great opportunity to win an event or two, obviously, against one of those two teams, or both.
The cross-country team started its season with the ABC Early Bird, or the District 11 meet. It's a good starting point. The good news for the Cardinals is Lachlan Demmer, their returning state entrant, finished really well in third place overall. This is run over at Anoka High School on the course that will be the section tournament, or the section meet course, so an opportunity for them to see that. They did not finish as well as a team as they would like, but there's only up from here. On the girls' side, they finished a little bit better, finishing fourth out of the 5 places. And what do you know, it's Ruby Demmer at the top of the leaderboard. A very nice finish for her in fourth place. Lily McKenzie was in 21st with Kendall Martinek, right behind her in 22nd. Fuller finished in 27th. And you see Cardinals just grouped up 27th, 28th, 29th place on the girls' side, running in pairs. That will help the team score. We'll see what happens. And again, it's just the very first race, and Coach Green, Denny Green, always says we're not at all worried about the races at the beginning. We're training for the race at the end. It's the only one that matters.
Well, it's kind of like Scott Stork too. I mean, obviously he wants to get some continuity in the beginning, but it's really what happens at the end that affects their finish.
Well, they will be at the Bauman-Roven Invite in Minnetrista on Thursday this week. They're at the St. Francis Invite next week. Well, the boys soccer team was supposed to start the season on the road last Monday, but due to extreme heat, they got to open in front of the home crowd on Wednesday instead. It also meant a more manageable opponent. Maple Grove, where they would have played on Monday, was the state runner-up last year. The Rogers Royals, on the other hand, had 5 wins last season and finished just ahead of the Cardinals in the conference standings. So this one could easily go either way, a great matchup for first-year head coach Matt Backberg and his squad. Excited to be in front of the home crowd, ready to get the season started. And they get a gift from their guests in the early going. Misplay by the Rogers keeper as he just gives it to Omar Workrew. Fires into a wide-open net. Cardinals are on the board in the 5th minute. Royals controlled most of the action, though, in the first half. Had several great chances. Sophomore keeper Drew Howard up to the task. Great diving save on that one. Keeps the Cardinals in front. But the pressure finally pays off. Jack Wade gets the corner. Howard comes out to challenge, forced to trip him up. That leads to a penalty kick. And Wade makes no mistake. That made it 1-1 just over midway through the first. Royals gained some momentum from that and continued to attack. Howard again coming up huge, not once but twice. He'll finally jump on the loose ball. Just an outstanding play from him all game long. Unfortunately, there's only so much that he could do against the constant pressure. Wade finds himself some room again. He's able to shoot back to the far side past a diving Howard. Gives Rogers the lead with just under 12 minutes left. Cardinals able to find an answer before the break. Adam Kish behind the defense gets pulled down, gets a PK for the home team, and Kish doesn't miss. That tied the game with less than 3 minutes remaining. The sophomore getting his first of the season, and they come out fast in the second. Great feed inside. Asaka with the shot, and Kish with the rebound. His second put the Cardinals in front, and it stood as the game winner. Howard coming up with another huge save on the free kick. And Matt Backberg didn't have to wait long, getting a victory in his Cardinals coaching debut. And it was fun to be there.
It was a fun game. I texted a little bit with Coach Backberg after the game, and he was pretty excited about how his team played, but thought there was a lot of room for improvement, even though they got the win. One thing I noticed about this team, Joe, there's a lot of speed.
Oh, I mean, yes.
And so that makes it exciting. They can get behind the defense and get opportunities for themselves. So we'll see how the season unfolds. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, and we talked to Coach Backberg in the summer and got an idea. And one of his things is he wants to be more offensive and more aggressive. We saw a little bit of that in the second half. They definitely played better, but they allowed Rogers to have way too much control of the ball in the first half. And moving forward, they're going to need to even up the possession time in order to get more victories and feel a little more comfortable going down the final stretch that they have it sealed up. They are at Anoka tonight. They will host Elk River on Thursday.
Well, the girls' soccer team opened its season on Thursday the 22nd, hosting the Chisago Lake Wildcats. This would be a huge test for the young Cardinal squad, as the Wildcats came in as defending champions in their conference. The two teams played to a 1-1 tie in last year's opener up in Chisago. The Cardinals were hoping home turf might help tip things in their favor. Wildcats had an edge in possession and chances early on, but no score until the 27th minute. Lexi Bartz able to get behind the defense down the right wing. She gains the corner, beats Aaliyah Williams back to the far side to give Chisago Lake a 1-0 lead. But the Cardinals, they answer less than a minute later. Tessa Delfrat one touches this one ahead to Callie Alphin, and she showcases her skills. Burst of speed to split the defenders, then leaves no doubt on the shot to the far side. First of the season for the sophomore, it's tied at 1. Wildcats retake the lead late in the half thanks to a skilled sophomore from their side. Emma Kanabi speeds past a couple of defenders, gets in alone against Williams. She taps it past the sprawling keeper. Cards trail 2-1. Start of a big night for Kanabi. Cardinals near even the score in the final minutes of the half. Sophia Bakri with a perfect feed ahead for Alpha. She lost it over the keeper, but misses just wide. Cardinals down 2 midway through the second. Alpha with a great play along the end line. Perfect feed for Michaela Haslund. She one-times it to the back of the net. Another junior hitting the score sheet and keeping hopes alive. Unfortunately, though, the Wildcats added a couple more insurance goals. This one, just a long through ball, let Kanabi beat everybody there with her speed. She has a perfect touch to send it to the far side. She finished with 4, and Chisago Lakes cruises to a 6-2 win.
Yeah, Kanabi and her team were very impressive. Well, the Cardinals' next 2 games were postponed due to different weather issues Saturday and Monday, so they didn't hit the turf again until Wednesday when they hosted Rogers. Royals started their season with a 5-0 win over Brainerd, and they kept rolling as they opened their conference schedule at the Cards. Royals waste no time setting the tempo in this one. The ball played in behind the defense. And Ashlyn O'Malley races in alone. No chance for Williams. O'Malley taps it past the charging keeper. 1-0 Rogers just over 90 seconds into the game. They keep feeding their junior star O'Malley behind the defense again and again. No realistic chance for Williams. So O'Malley puts it to the far side. And she wasn't done. Not even 10 minutes into the game. It's Greta Chimura getting around the corner, down the right wing. Beautiful pass. O'Malley one-touches it to the far side. She's got 3, and she has the Royals ruling the roost from the very start. O'Malley showed she can do more than just score. Late in the half, O'Malley in close, sends it across. Chimura at the back post to chip it in. 6-0 at the break. O'Malley had 3 goals and 3 assists to lead Rogers to the 9-0 win.
Yeah, Rogers was impressive. They really poured it on, and the Cardinals didn't really have an answer for him in this game. And after that tough loss to open the season, this was a little tougher.
Yeah, well, and 15 goals in their first 2 is definitely a concern. They had to feel pretty good getting 2 in the loss in the opener. Yes. But again, Chisago is a former conference champion, just a defending conference champion, I should say. They won the Mississippi 8 last year. And then you have Rogers, which especially O'Malley, wow, is she an impressive player. But they're gonna be a team that pushes for the top spot in the Northwest Suburban, which, as we talk about year in and year out, one of the toughest places to play in the state of Minnesota. Cardinals are at Anoka tonight. They will host Elk River on Thursday. So we are back and running full strength and full steam ahead for the fall season. We'll have volleyball on Wednesday night against Anoka. We'll be at the football game over at Osseo on Friday. And we'll see the tennis team next Tuesday as they take on the Orioles. But that is going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Paris Foster behind the lens and Howie Shapiro to my right, I'm Joe Young saying goodnight.